Well, when I hear the word echo, immediately the image that comes to mind is the image of someone like in a canyon or something, crying out or calling out or yelling. Or I think of my kids who yell and like to hear their voice bounce off things. So that's the first image that comes to my mind. But I think the heart of echo is someone calling out and there being a response, right? Somebody initiates a sound and there's a response back that reflects what has been put out into the world. So that's what I think of when I think of echo. You think in the terms of echo of God's love, being God speaking his word of love out into the world through the person of Jesus. It's kind of God calling out in love, and that message is directed towards us, right? And so I think we are essentially, I don't know if this is exactly what the song is kind of implying, but how I understood it was that we are the echo of that. Like God has initiated this act of love, and that we echo that love back to God and back to the world. So that was, and the song continually references God's love as well, this persistence of it and how it won't let go, and this echo that kind of pursues, or the sound that pursues us, and that we echo that back into the world. So this is the persistence of God's love that's initiated through the person of Christ. Like I mentioned before, I do believe that the love begins by us responding to what God has done. So God has already expressed God's love to me, and I'm trying to live into my belovedness as a child of God. And I think the way I want my life to echo that, to reflect that back into the world, is how I interact with the people around me, right? So the people interact first with my family, how I'm caring for them, how I'm serving this community of students, if I'm being present to them and engaged with them, loving them well, creating space for them to listen, practicing empathy, and then also challenging us to see beyond our own campus and serving the world at large. So those who are less fortunate or who are underserved, even traveling internationally. So we're trying to echo God's love as campus ministries here on our campus in Mount Vernon, throughout the United States, but also abroad as we travel this summer and this spring break. So trying to practice that starting at home, and then through my work and through the international travel that we'll do. So I think of the echo of God, I want to permeate every part of my life, from the basic parts to the most glamorous or most interesting parts. I think the love of God should echo through every corner of what we do and who we are. There's lots of times where I experience the love of God via another person, right? When I'm having a hard day, or I'm feeling discouraged or disheartened, someone reflects God's love or echoes God's love back to me through their care and concern for me, through their attention or their encouragement or their word of wisdom or even their word of correction. I think can be God's love echoed to me via another person. So I think that's one of God's primary vehicles often of expressing God's love to us, is through the loving response of one of our fellow Christ followers. So I think that's one of the primary ways often that we can experience God's love. I think at the heart of that verse is that we have to remember that God is the one who starts the work. It's not based on our own initiative, our own get up and go, our own hustle, our own even passion or enthusiasm or religious zeal. It always begins with God's first action towards us. And so anything that we do is truly a response to that. And we can trust that the God who started this, who took that initiative in inviting us into relationship and inviting us into a vocation, giving ourselves over for the sake of the kingdom of God, I think we can trust that the God who invites us to do that and who has started this journey to begin with has the end in mind, wants to restore and redeem both us and the world as we partner together in redemption. So I believe and I trust that the God who started this whole thing wants to complete that work and wants to invite us to be a part of that redemptive work, both here locally and around the world.